Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Man, what a day. What a day. What a day, Kenny. What a day. Is not over, man, but you got to battle. This is a day that you got to battle. You know what I mean? There's always one day during the week that makes you want to quit.
Just Tuesday, too.
But then that's when you got to go harder because it's state basketball. A lot of stuff going on. But anyways, it's good to be on the air. Jay Foreman, Kenny Wilhite, Old School, brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese. Special ingredients and butcher shop located at 84th and Havelock. Every type of meat, every type of cut. They have seafood, their own sauces, spices, pasta, single-serving take-home meals, family-size take-home meals, both frozen and fresh off the grill or whatever you choose. So we teased it a little bit in the crossover with East Strick about Lamar Jackson. Got the non-exclusive rights franchise tag, so he still has the money in the bank. So if he doesn't reach a deal, not only with the Ravens but with somebody else, he gets paid, I think, 30-40 million or something pretty, obviously, he's not going to turn his nose up. But I think the big story behind that, Kenny, is the lack of true commitment to Lamar. Now, I think, the Ravens will tell you he doesn't have an agent, so it's hard to do business. Not really, because the NFLPA, in my opinion, if you came and sent in a Ricky Williams type of contract, it would get voided. And you see it sometimes. Mm-hmm. If the little bit of the language is off, that's too much of an advantage for the player or the team, then they'll nullify it and tell you to go back and do it. So you really necessarily don't need an agent, considering that Lamar knows everybody's contract. And so there is no hidden contract out there. And what I mean by that is, if Austin is, just say what Lamar Jackson is really probably basing his initial offer off is Deshaun Watson. That contract is in.
Everybody knows what
public.
It is.
Yeah,
it's
it
public.
Is. So if he's coming with the same contract or a little bit more, which was just say is 10 to 15% more, the Ravens know that. So now that they've franchised him because they couldn't get a deal, which they should, because it's business, and that's the hard thing to separate when you've given your body, your mind, body, and soul to not only the team, the city,
to the
organization. You have to understand that it is a business and don't take it personal. And by being your own agent, that's almost like a head coach and a GM. You saw it down there with Bill O'Brien, where he was making personal decisions, which was messing up the team. You could do that as a player. I think the Ravens are they liked it when Lamar Jackson was the new toy and took the league by storm. I think that they did a good job of surrounding him with a physical offensive line and running backs and one of the best tight ends in the league. A poor job of drafting and recruiting receivers. But then the biggest thing that they didn't do, which is also kind of comparable here, whereas you didn't put him in positions to where he had to get better at playing the quarterback position. Because as you go along in the season, teams start to play their RPOs a little bit better. You don't run them as crisp. So then therefore your explosive plays, then you get in the playoffs and they have scouts that have been scouting you for 6 weeks, projecting on where you're going to get, where you're going to play. And then, oops, we don't play as well. And then who does the fault fall on?
All falls back on the quarterback.
Lamar. So if you were in his position, Kenny, would you – here, I'll give you like 2 or 3 scenarios, which the guarantee one is you just play the 1-year deal, which he says he wouldn't. But I'm asking you, play on the 1-year deal on the franchise and maybe get something put in there. Okay, if I play on this 1-year deal, then I'm automatically a free agent next year. Okay, so you're kind of playing for your freedom. Number 2, try to work out a short-term kind of mutual beneficial deal with the Ravens. Kind of something that where you could at least put your head on the pillow and not lose sleep. They show, save faith and make, some sort of commitment. Or number 3, would you sign with another team and try to do a poison pill type of deal? And what that is put it to where that, other teams know your salary cap, situations. So you put a poison pill in there, maybe year 1 or 2 that they can't match, and go to another team, even if it's a little bit less money.
Me, I'm always thinking about, I want to be somewhere where I'm wanted.
Right.
Where I'm truly wanted. So if they truly wanted him, that deal would get done.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
If they truly wanted him, that deal will get done. Like you said, he was the new toy. Now he's the mater.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm him, I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna shop around, see what I can get done.
Right.
Because he's representing himself. So the ball's in his court pretty much.
Yeah, more than a lot of
players.
But then it might not be not because the one thing about a lot of these GMs and stuff, they kind of are it's like a little good old boys club.
Oh,
so
I know.
They they trying to I feel like I think that a perfect place for him to approach would be the Redskins or the Commanders or the
whoever.
Commanders. Are they? Yeah,
Commanders.
Yeah,
the Fighting Dan Snyders.
Yeah, that would be a perfect place.
Well, he won't be there too much longer, so can't call him that
for a variety of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel that like they might be trying to teach him a lesson and try to get him on the cheat. I think right now they're testing his conviction. Now, also you have a comparable, whereas like Kyler Murray, who has accomplished less, both on the field, playoffs, and not an MVP, didn't take Arizona long to re-up him. So then this is really going to come down to him that testing his conviction. Are you willing to hold out and not play for that 1-year deal? That's what it's going to come down to. Because as that public pressure starts to say after the draft, right? Everybody has a quarterback and all this other stuff after the draft, and he's still sitting out there, even on the franchise tag, and say he misses the whole training camp. And then he shows up when he has to. And I think with this franchise tag, you actually can come with 6 weeks left in the season. Because remember, I think Brown did when he was with the Houston Texans. And then he ended up going to Seattle. He played like 2 weeks, and they played Seattle, and they traded him next week. There's the guys that have waited that long. So essentially you're, playing the long game, knowing that you're going to, potentially get it. But you can never recoup that. You're never going to recoup that $30 million that you possibly did.
Nope.
So, they got him in a pickle, but he also, has to, have some sort of idea of what he can do. If I was Lamar and if I was in Lamar's camp, whether it's an advisor, friend, I know his mom is real close with him, and that's what, he's actually taking a really good stance on it, having his mom help him, kind of creating a business like we talked about LeBron. I would find an agent that you possibly either had in the past or know that's a good agent and hire them as a consultant. Lamar and his mom say, still, you guys are in the front, but I'm paying you as a consultant so you can help me navigate all this GM BS, because then that will give him more bargaining power. And once he did that, I think things would start to move real fast for him.
Golly, it's just crazy how. What have you done for me lately?
It's not even that. What have you done for me yesterday?
Yes.
And really, they will find ways to nullify and minimize everything you've done for them for the first 3 or 4 years. So this is a good lesson for fans. And look, I know that you can fans will say this: why guys hold out? Why don't they honor their contract? Well, the same reason that you guys don't ask the GMs and the coaches why they cut players, right? After 1 year. Kyle, here's a perfect example. Kyle Van Noy, who was a first round draft choice, went to Detroit, didn't really play well, went to Patriots, really took off, signed a huge deal with the Dolphins, right? And had a good year, got cut after 1 year because they had some changeover with the coaching staff.
Save money.
Right? Nobody said, why didn't you keep him? Why don't you honor your contract? Now he's doing well out of San Diego, but at the end of the day, he's 1 year in there. What people don't understand is, like, if If Aaron Rodgers goes to Aaron Rodgers, we're talking about. So if he goes to the Jets or the Raiders, it's going to take him a little while to adjust. The same Aaron Rodgers you see in Green Bay, even if it was Devontae Adams, is going to take a little while for them to get busy. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So it could take you a year to adjust. Just getting used to the language, driving to the stadium, driving to the practice facility,
finding a new home, finding a new place to live,
new place, all that type of stuff, right? Getting used to the different type of atmosphere of the people, different offensive alignment, different. I mean, it just takes a little while. And so for everybody out there saying that, players need to honor their contract, this is a perfect example right here. Somebody that's done it he's been an NFL MVP. That means he was voted the best of the best in the league, still in his prime. Regardless if he's a Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady passer, or if he's a mix, or just a blown up version of what he did at Louisville, which he won the Heisman, by the way.
He won the Heisman.
Okay. So he is not being rewarded.
No.
But then on the other side, you have Kyler Murray, aka Pocket Hercules, who has in his contract that he has to watch tape for 4 hours a week. 4 hours a week? Yes.
That's it.
That's it.
No way.
Yes,
I think they officially took that out, but that's what was in there.
When he assigned the new deal, obviously it became public, right? Because he had to watch tape for 4 hours. Then it was everywhere. Then it was like, why would you pay a guy that's supposed? First of all, any good quarterback during the season, and they really during the off season, that's all they do is watch tape.
That's what I'm saying. 4 hours is not enough quarterback for anybody.
That ain't even enough. First of all, that ain't enough for me. I'm thinking like 4 hours. I was thinking back like when I was playing. Well, I did like an hour and a half on Monday. For sure 2 hours on Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday. I know I was at least 2 hours on top of being. I'm sitting there like 4 hours. You got it easy.
Really easy.
On top of. We didn't have iPads then.
We had
DVDs.
We had DVDs.
And if you better hope
not even DVDs, we had VHS.
Yeah, right. And you better hope that thing don't burn out.
Or the tape gets stuck.
Right. Or it got some scratches on it. So, for people out there, you guys need to understand. I mean, here you look at the Finns. They released the quarterback Jones, right? Byron Jones, who had some real physical issues. Now they're trying to save money. So now what you need to understand is like the NFL is a business. So even though we make fun of Aaron Rodgers, it's a business. So in his business and his brand is bigger than majority of the people because he has Hall of Fame aspirations. Most likely going to be there. Legacy aspirations, which 99.9% of the league doesn't have to worry about. And then so you gotta, you gotta understand where you're at. And then you look at Geno Smith. Yes, he got a new deal, but he's still on a kind of 1 year prove it to him. Right now and I'm okay with that. Right. He had NFL comeback player of the year. Really good year. Seattle appreciated that. So look, if you're thinking about where I would go play, that's where I would think about going playing. They have a history of taking care of their players that perform on the field. They don't just cut you anytime they see that they have a down year. They stick with you, because, whether it was Cam Chancellor had a couple injury plague years, but they believe in your players. Or you look at Geno Smith. He's kind of waited his time, had a really good year. Had them always, on the cusp of the playoffs, and say, you know what, we're going to reward you what you did, do it again, and then we'll come back and do it again. Whereas Baltimore, without Lamar Jackson,
they would be bad
because they 3 years ago, you could say, well, their defense was dominant. 3 years ago.
But he still performed.
Right. No, I'm talking about if you took Lamar off the team, you're like, okay, we got one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah.
Now, not so much.
No.
You want to know why? Because I saw Tua come in there and light you up for like 500 yards and Tyreek Hill in a matter of a quarter and a half. It went from like 80 yards to 280. So that lets me know your pass rush isn't there because you don't got Suggs anymore. Calais Campbell's a little bit older. Your linebackers are both, Raekwon Smith is good.
He's good.
But the other Queen that came from LSU is a little bit undersized. So when you think you're dealing with Cleveland, who's the best running team in the league, Cincinnati. And Pittsburgh, there's a hole there. Then your defensive backs besides Humphrey, and because Hamilton back there from Notre Dame, he's a little bit too much long stride
he's too long.
Right.
He's a long strider.
Yeah, he needs to.
Now, he's a good football player, but he's a long strider.
Right. So he's got to be in the right.
He's got to be in the right.
He needs pass rush.
Yep.
So now you flip to the other side. Now Lamar Jackson, he was averaging 25 points a game. He goes out. It's hard football to watch.
That was so bad to watch.
Right. So now you're taking a big risk. So now you're essentially going to start over or go into the free agency pool. And this dude's the leader on your team.
Yeah, better get it done.
Well, Ozzie Smith said they're going to put a lot of energy into
Ozzie Newsome. And
I know I was thinking of St. Louis.
Yeah, Cardinals.
Ozzie Newsome said they're going to put a lot of energy into it. But you know what energy I like? That energy there where that bank account go off if I'm like Lamar. Because he ain't putting I don't want you to say nothing until we can talk.
Till the ink dry on the paper.
Right. No, we can actually have contracts. Like, don't lowball me. Because they did the first they tried to give him $132 million. Well, this dude just got $250. He ain't even played for a year.
No, you can't do that.
Right. So anyway, that's a good segment there on Lamar Jackson, man. And it's good insight into the NFL. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the the press conference of Matt Rule and Thomas Fidone. I'm gonna give my opinion. I ain't gonna really press Kenny too much, but that was the after winter conditioning press conference, which was new, which I think is good. But we'll get some thoughts on that and dive into a little bit of spring ball, and then we'll dive into a little basketball, and then move on from there. We want that text line to start lighting up on this Tuesday, so we'll be right back. Kenny Wilhite, Jay Foreman.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Nebraska, they were 2-18 at Carver Hawkeye.
They don't play well at Carver Hawkeye.
And lost 9 in a row. Fred's previous 3 games at Carver Hawkeye, they had lost by an average of 28.4 points.
That would lead you to. That would lead you to. Not going to win the game, probably.
Right.
But we did say here, but I know all three of us said it. But it's like, no, we're not going. We're not playing Kansas.
No. Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hopcat exists at the intersection of great beer and delicious food, complemented by music, art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering place with some of the best damn burgers and fries you'll find in Lincoln. Hopcat is your pregame headquarters for basketball and volleyball all season long. Hopcat is located at 6th and P in the Haymarket. To plan your next trip to Hopcat, visit www.hopcat.com. Attention all Wings fans! 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Tired of the ugly signs, extra expense, and costly damage from hard water? It's time to call the plumbers at Bryant for a water softener solution. Hi, folks. Greg Shop here, the voice of the Huskers at Bryant. You get high-quality water softener products installed by plumbers you can trust, and no arm-twisting contracts that tie you down. Just one call, 467-1111, or visit BryantLincoln.com to schedule a free softener installation estimate. Come on, soften up with Bryant. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Mostly cloudy and cool today with a high of around 42. East-northeast winds of around 10 to 15. We may see a few sprinkles or light rain showers this evening. Lows tonight should drop off to around 34. And nearly a repeat performance tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high of 41. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Old School on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. Old School, Kenny Wilhite, Jay Foreman. A couple texts. Kelsey, Mississippi Mud Dog asks, are the Jets and the Raiders better options for Rodgers to win than Green Bay, because the NFC North seems like it's easier to win? And he is correct. But Mississippi Mud Dog, I think he's thinking about, getting into the playoffs. Now, still, I think Mississippi Mud Dog's point is right, because the Jets and the Raiders, at the end of the day, you in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to face Patrick Mahomes, okay, and then you got to deal with
Buffalo.
Then you got to deal with Buffalo, and then you got to deal and Joe Burrow, and Herbert. And if Russell Wilson gets any breath of life with Sean Payton, they're gonna be hard out.
And maybe Tua.
Maybe
Trevor Lawrence.
Right? Yeah. There's too much going on. There's too much heat over there, right? But so even if you go back to Green Bay and run it back, you're at least going to be in the NFC North title hunt, right? And I'm assuming Green Bay is going to add some pieces to you. The problem is this. This is the problem. The problem is Green Bay really doesn't want him. They won't say it.
They don't want him.
But they won't want him back. Now, see, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, though, this is what I'm talking about. See there.
Oh, there you go.
Here we go. See, if I'm Aaron, right? Look, he likes to get devil in stuff that's not football. And if he wants to have a second career, which would probably be being on one of the either CNN, Fox News, or it was an MSNBC.
McAfee's co-host.
Yeah, McAfee's. But if he wants to do something outside of that, right, where he kind of can really, really kind of keep himself probably more relevant than football, because he would be relevant 365. He need to go to the Commanders. Here's why. Listen to this. He knows the path, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the NFC. He automatically feels that he can leapfrog the Giants. He feels like he owns the Packers. He has a problem with Mike McCarthy, so he can go down there and stick it to Dallas. No,
I'm listening. I'm listening.
And when he gets there, right? And I think first of all, I know one thing. He will respect Eric Bieniemy to the utmost.
Yes.
So once he gets there, now he has weapons. The other place, sneaky, that he might end up on like a 1 or 2 year deal, I don't know if they'll pay this much for a quarterback, is Pittsburgh. He has affinity for Mike Tomlin. But
Mike Tomlin would be good for him.
Tomlin would be good for him, but they got Pickett.
And they got
Little Hand Pickett.
And Pickett would be sitting back on the bed. You learn something for a couple years, then you come back. But they got Najee Harris. They got a really good tight end. They don't have a dog outside.
No.
But with this wide receiver class and the free agency class and the ability, if you can trade, you're there. So Mississippi Mud Dog, you right. Look at Craig say, "AA Ron to the foreskins." That's funny.
Oh, Lord.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna get into a little bit of local news. The Huskers had their after winter conditioning press conference. Matt Rule just kind of talked about the new things that he was doing. I'll get your opinion on it, Kenny. I think he's really he's coming in and he's trying to create a team atmosphere. Like I wouldn't say if I said forcing it, then that sounds bad. But he's actually getting guys out of their comfort zone, which I like. Where he's like, hey, stop hanging out with the same people. And here's why I think it's good, right? I remember when Bo Pelini played, there was a safety that played here, and I remember they did an internship at a company I was working at, and one of his teammates there, and he didn't even know the dude was on the team. And this dude played. Both of them were starters. Now here's the worst part. Now I'll get if it was like a walk-on that he'd never seen before.
Don't matter.
Hold on.
I
can give you some excuse, and you're a senior, and he only been there for a few months, and maybe you ain't in the same locker room.
Mm-hmm.
I can deal with that. You ain't, and you don't cross paths because I know I didn't cross paths with a lot of seniors when I was in the North locker room.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's probably some that they might know me by face, but might not know. Okay, then. But nah, he was a starter, and so was the other dude. So that's why I like what he's doing, breaking them up in pods, seeing how some of your boys that you used to hang out with and do some of the stuff that probably led to Matt Rule getting there, which is not living up to expectations, really operate. Are you late? Are you accountable? You might love them. It's just like, hey, man, we're cool at the stadium, but then you live with them. Dude, don't flush the toilet. Don't vacuum. Don't do that. So now you don't know when your roommate. So what you're doing is getting to learn about yourself, your teammates, and new teammates, even though they're on the team. So I like that.
It's crazy you say that because the last week of the season, right?
Mm-hmm. When you were there.
When I was there.
Right.
This past season, I had one of the players next to me, and I said, "What's his name?"
Asking about another player.
Another player. I don't know. I said, "What's his name?" I don't know. I'm like, "You kidding me, right?" I was like, "You've been with this team, and these kids been with you for 3 years,
right?
And you don't know who he is." I said, "That's the problem."
Right. I mean,
that's a huge problem.
Yeah, I don't know how deep they're getting into it because I didn't really get the list to it. One thing I would actually tell them to do and implore those guys to do is learn about each other.
Yep.
Learn about, where, like, say for Kenny, he's from East St. Louis. Tell me about your family. Tell me about what makes you tick. You know what I mean? Tell me, you know what I mean? Because you could be out there on the field, right? And I could, Kenny could tell me something about his upbringing that I was like, Kenny, look, we playing for this. And that will get him going. Because there's going to be a time that Kenny would need me or Austin to push you through that threshold. Yeah. So if you know more about them, that's even better. I mean, it's no different than that's how you can meet. That's how you meet lifelong friends. I mean, if you think that whether it's Brian Shaw, Ben Butenbach, Tim Carpenter, Joel McAfee, if you think that I would ever be friends with them if I wasn't on that team,
I'm the same way.
You know what I'm saying?
Some of the friends that you have, I even said it when I spoke to my high school.
Right.
I said, I put my arms around my coach. I said, do you actually think he and I would have became friends if I wouldn't have came here? No.
Lifelong
friends.
People that you can call. I mean, that's what they need to do.
And so Dr. Chatters did come and did a exercise with the team. And he said, look to the guy to your left. They're sit by positions. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Seniors in front, then it works their way back. Look to the guy to your left. And then he made everybody, they talked for like 2 minutes. So if I sat with you, what's your mom and dad name? What's your brother's name? What's your sister's name?
Right.
Where you from? What high school you play at? What position?
Right.
So he asked each individual player who had a partner about that player.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
And that was a good exercise for the team. They needed that.
Right.
Because again, like I said, the last week of the season, because I knew.
Right. Yeah, you could feel it.
I could feel it.
Right. You could feel it.
I could feel. I'm like, what's his name?
Yeah.
What's his name? He had no clue. I'm like, you guys came in together.
Right.
You were freshmen together.
When walked around the locker room butt naked.
And still don't know
know each other. Yeah, I mean
that's a problem.
Yeah, it is a big problem because, and here's why. It is because if you're on the defensive side of the ball and say an offensive lineman from, it doesn't even have to be from Nebraska. Just say he's from Kansas. You guys might have more in common than the guy that you're hanging out with all the time. You might just be hanging out with, say, me and Kenny are DBs. We just hanging out with each other. Now, granted, we like each other, but we're hanging out with each other because it's easy, because we have the biggest thing in common. We got the same coach and we play the same position.
Yep.
But I actually have more in common, just say, with an offensive lineman or a tight end. That one obviously might not look like me and obviously not built like me, but has the same family dynamics as me or something like that. And that's where I think it's good that Matt Rule is trying to get these guys to
get them out of their comfort
zone and get them out there doing more stuff together, trying to build that camaraderie, because he probably got a sense of, because I'm sure he took a snapshot. I'm sure he came in and kind of just, he's a veteran. He knows to watch everybody and see these guys real cliquish, where he's like, oh, well, no, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Because you got to depend on everybody to win.
You have to.
And you got to make sure you got to be able, because you're creating a bond with these guys in your groups that you can cross the line from offense, defense, or special teams to congratulate them, push them, and to hold them accountable. And so what he's trying, I guess what I'm thinking he's trying to do is create a team kind of like what we always have, where it's led by the players, but you can't have the players lead if they don't know who they're leading.
You can't have the wrong people trying to be leaders.
Right. And you can't, and a coach cannot anoint leaders if just because he's a good player or that's what you want to do. And that's the worst thing you can do.
And that's happened.
Right. And so
you can't do it though.
Right. And you can't talk yourself being into a leader. And I think the other big story obviously coming out of it was I had Thomas Fedoni up there, where you got to give him, one, he's, batted a couple, unfortunate injuries. One was non-contact, the other one I think he got hit a little low, which, in
a live period.
Right. But still, it's just, you don't need to hit
him. No, you have to protect your teammate.
Yeah, that ain't gonna get you nowhere by doing that. And so, but you gotta give him props. He's battled back. He's 255 pounds. My man ain't missed a workout or a meal. He's looking good. The biggest thing I will always tell guys is, one thing I was always told is, let them pads do that talking.
That's all you got to do.
Let that work do that talking, and everything else will come to fruition. You know what I'm saying? And it's great to have goals and aspirations and confidence, but your confidence comes from the work that you did, and generally the confidence comes from the most work you do is when nobody's watching.
Nobody's watching,
and when you don't have to do it. Outside of the workouts, outside of the film session, outside of everybody going out, and you decide to say you want to watch some tape or whatever and get better, or have an extra day that you go in and work on your craft. That's what happens. That's what leads you to have superior. I always say have superior confidence when you play on Saturdays. Because if you don't have superior confidence on Saturdays, then you won't be able to fight through that second quarter, third quarter, and be able to do what you need to do. And that's probably the only advice I give a lot of kids. It's great that you're out there, and it's great that you're getting pushed to be on social media, but keep it on social media, because at the end of the day, what you do on the field is your best NIL. What you do on the field is your best social media account.
That's your resume.
That's
what you do in between them white lines, that is your resume.
That's it.
Nothing you can say or tweet or retweet or Instagram, that ain't gonna get you nowhere.
That ain't gonna do nothing. No quote that you say in the paper are gonna make you tough.
No. So like you said, are you willing to make the sacrifices when you know your boy's gonna go hang out? Or you at home studying your playbook, right. or you in the gym doing something.
One of the best things I've read recently is being good is not cool.
No.
And if you just if you just hear that right off the top, you're like, that don't make sense. Because when you are good, you are cool. But what it means is it's not cool to get dirty when you're working out. It's not cool to overextend yourself in the workout. It's not cool to go above and beyond. It's not cool to not go out with it make hard decisions. It's not cool saying no. It's not cool taking it too serious. But at the end of the day, 2 years down the road, you're going to be the cool one.
Yep.
Because you're going to be what everybody else wants. And one of the funniest things was, Kenny, is when I was a red shirt, Man, I remember this dude came up to me on the team, and he was like, man, why you take football so serious? I was like, what? Why I take it so serious? Bro, how you think I got here? Like, I'm trying to, at the end of I don't know if I'm ever going to play when I'm done playing. I mean, I was only a redshirt freshman. But in 4 years, I want to make sure if I'm done playing, I didn't maximize everything. That's why I'm taking it serious. Number one, I don't want to be a chump.
No.
And number two, I like football.
No, you didn't like it. You
I
loved it.
Right.
There you go.
So that's why I'm taking it serious. I'm serious about this.
And those are the kind of guys that you just laugh at.
Yeah, I was like, what you mean?
You look
why
at
you
him
taking
like,
it so serious?
Did he really just say that?
Right. Because first of all, number one, I don't want to go. First of all, I was getting tired of getting my butt kicked. Right. Corey Selection there was wearing my butt tail out. And then
Joe Rockhead.
And then I was like, you know what? I gotta do something about this. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. I mean,
hey, I start dipsy doing on his butt. You know what I'm saying? Hey, cha-cha slide on him. He go slide right by it, and that slow his butt down when he don't know where you at. Then I bust him up one time. Then he be mad. Then I'll be like, yeah, I need a water break.
Because you know he coming.
Yeah, I know he coming. I could run to O Street. He coming to get me.
That was just that's just his mentality. But if for a guy to ask you, why do you take football so serious? That's just mind-boggling.
Right.
Why are you out here if you're not taking it serious? And again, for the last 9 years, that was a question I would ask kids.
Yeah.
Do you love football? Right. Or are you doing it just?
That's what we're going to come back in the short segment. I want to ask your percentage of guys compared. Let's not even compare us. I'm just going to ask about here. Here's what I'm asking. I'm going to ask you two questions. The percentage of guys these days across the board, from Hawaii to Maine to Nebraska to Texas, that don't love football, and why is it? Then number two, what percentage of players that have come here that either have been on the cusp of loving football but end up just liking everything else and didn't because I think your love for football can grow.
Yes,
you know what I mean. But it seems like here it dissipates. You get what I mean? I'm going to ask you why. Coming back in the short segment, Kenny Wilhite, Austin on the ones and twos, Austin 316, and Jay Foreman.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Jay Foreman. I wore gear to protect my health on the football field, and I'm protecting it now by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Get up to date while it's still free and stay protected. Learn more at healthylincoln.org.
Welcome to Lincoln State Hoops fans. Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill at 10th and P is your go-to spot for the small town feel in the middle of Lincoln's downtown area. Come enjoy great food and great drinks for lunch or dinner and before or after any game at Rosie's. 10th and P.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Nebraska, they were 2-18 at Carver Hawkeye.
They don't play well at Carver Hawkeye.
And lost 9 in a row. Fred's previous 3 games at Carver Hawkeye, they had lost by an average of 28.4 points.
That would lead you to. That would lead you
not
to.
going to win the game, probably.
Right. But we did say here, but I know all three of us said it. But it's like, no, we're not going. We're not playing Kansas.
No. Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
March is a month of good luck. From epic runs in state basketball to watching Cinderella spring the upset in college basketball. And of course, St. Patrick's Day. Luck is on your side at Mullen Motors too, because their lot is full of great vehicles to take home. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Your luck starts this month at Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors. The Empire brand is growing with ESC fabrication and sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329. Hey guys, Nick Sadert here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Spine and Sports Chiropractic. I experienced a herniated disc in my lower back a few years ago, and thanks to the folks at Spine and Sports, I got back to feeling 100%. At Spine and Sports, they use the active release technique, which involves the soft tissue and can alleviate headaches, shoulder pain, plantar fasciitis, and more. What I like most about the ART method is that your doctor will construct a plan that fits your needs because the technique is not a cookie-cutter approach. Allow Spine and Sports Chiropractic to help you feel better. Set up your appointment today by giving them a call at 402-261-6841.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Tired of the ugly signs, extra expense, and costly damage from hard water? It's time to call the plumbers at Bryant for a water softener solution. Hi, folks. Greg Shop here, the voice of the Huskers at Bryant. You get high-quality water softener products installed by plumbers you can trust, and no arm-twisting contracts that tie you down. Just one call, 467-1111, or visit BryantLincoln.com to schedule a free softener installation estimate. Come on, soften up with Bryant. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
Back to old school with DP and J.
There it is. We're back. Quick segment. Kenny Wilhite, want to put you on a little bit of the hot seat. I wanted to ask you, Kenny, just across the board, I guess why or what percentage of players seem to not love football or love football as much? That's probably.
Are you talking about across the nation or just the guys that have come through?
Across the nation. That's the ones that come through here. That's the next question. I'm saying across the nation because here's why I'm asking. If it's across the nation, just say it's 50%, and here it's 50%. Okay, that's just it is what it is. But if across the nation is just say 30% and 60% here, well then we need to really focus on why do kids come here that don't love football or become accustomed to not loving football?
I would say across the nation, I would be hard pressed to go over 60% that actually love.
So 60% or lower.
Yeah, that loves football and everything that comes with it.
Right. The practices.
It
sucks.
Hot meetings.
Yeah. No
parties. I would be hard pressed to say 60%.
Sacrifice.
Because you have to make you have to
competition.
You have to make sacrifices.
Yeah. Dealing with adversity.
Dealing with
competition.
We talked about it yesterday. Texas. Those two quarterbacks. So I would say I would be hard pressed to say 60%.
Now the second part of the question is what percentage would you say just at Nebraska, and don't even count this year, but just in general, even before you got here, but just like obviously during your tenure, is it higher, lower, or about the same?
It's lower.
Lower.
Yes.
So why do you think here do you think, and here's what I also ask you. Do you think it becomes lower, like they're a product of the environment, or is it just kind of like they don't really ask the questions to maybe get that percentage up higher to weed out the guys that come in not loving football?
Well, within my tenure, you ask the coach, you ask the high school coach, the janitor, the counselor. You try to do your homework.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Not counting Bo's year, but
Riley,
the years after Bo,
there
was a lot of homework not done.
Mm.
Not a lot of
Thoroughness. Yeah.
Thoroughness, turning over.
Every leaf.
Every leaf to try to get the right information.
Right.
There was a lot of homework not being done. So that's why I say it was lower, because
and then
if I call you, right?
Yeah.
And I've known you for 30 years.
Right.
Right. And I call you and you tell me he's a good football player, but I don't think he loves the game. I'm going to respect your opinion and evaluation of the kid. And then I may second guess on if we want to take that kid.
Right.
Right. Because you already got a problem.
Yeah.
Within your team of guys that don't love it. They're only doing it because they get social media, they get paid, paid. So that's why I say it's lower. And then, but again, even when you get them on campus, you ask them, hey, do you love the game, or you just doing it because for what comes with it, or you just here?
Yeah. Do you think part of it is, I think the culture of kids, once they get here, they felt like they arrived, like, okay, well, I'm here, and they just expect to be rewarded as if they've done the things that they've done to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we have done a lot of them a disservice because we crowned them.
Right.
We tell them, you're this person, that person. You're, Adrian, for example.
Right.
He was crowned.
Yeah, early.
Yeah. And then he, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Play went down.
Yeah.
I mean, so I say most staffs in the country do it.
Right. Yeah. I was about to say, a lot of them do
A lot of them do it. They crown them early. Just look at your boy at Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ohio State. Now he's back home in Texas, and
about to be up in Dallas, Fort Worth.
He may be in Fort Worth soon. So we have a problem doing it as staffs across the country, but you have to sell the kids on your program, and But then, if you sit down with a kid, if I sit down with you, and you tell me, "Oh, I love football. I love football. I love football," at some point you're gonna slip up and you're gonna tell me something different, or I'm gonna get a better feel off of you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
This kid don't love football. And again, there was times when I'd be like, this kid is not a good fit. This kid doesn't love football. This kid is only doing it because the attention he's getting. You get him on your yard, it's too late.
Right. Do you think sometimes you can fall in love too quickly or too much with measurables and the boom or bust? Because I think that was part of the problem.
There's a lot of
guys that felt like they were boom. Like, if it works out, he gonna be good.
He gonna be good.
But most likely, it ain't
gonna work out. I mean, because you'll know, you get a kid on your campus within a week, you'll know if it's gonna work out.
Right.
You'll know if that kid's a good fit. That kid's gonna survive in this culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You watch just by watching the kid who he moves and shakes with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'll learn a lot.
You'll learn a lot. He ain't gonna make it because he's rolling with them.
And they're not gonna make it.
Well, they're barely making it.
Yeah. And they ain't trying to help
and they ain't trying to help them make it.
Yeah.
So
that's good stuff, man. And good first hour goes by quick. So we're gonna go to a break, come back at the top of the hour. We're going to talk about the first little mock draft coming out, man, because we were talking a little NFL stuff. I want to jump back into it. It's pretty interesting stuff with some of these picks.
Really?
And some of these players are getting picked. Man, I was born way a little bit too early. But
way early.
Right?
So not a little bit too early. Way early. This is called old school for a reason, Jay.
Yeah, we're gonna come back at the top of the hour, old school, Kenny Wilhite, Jay Foreman.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. Girls State Basketball is over, and here are your class champions. In Class A, Millard South won over Lincoln High 72-60. In Class B, Elkhorn North beat Omaha Skutt 64-51. In Class C1, North Bend won over Adams Central 45-28. In Class C2, Penner just got by Oakland Craig in a thriller 45-42. In Class D1, Centura won beating Hastings St. Cecilia 44-38. And in Class D2, FCSH won in dramatic fashion beating Wynot by 1 point 33-32. Boys State playoffs will start Wednesday, March 6th. Multiple city schools will have a shot at the championship. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Max 10 for men. Bye-bye golfer lines and t-shirt 10s. Take it to the max at Max 10. Get a 30-day pass, just $25. With stand-ups and laydowns for men of stature. Be a Max 10 man. Get 30 days for just $25 now at all 4 Lincoln Max 10 locations.
This is Jay Foreman. I wore gear to protect my health on the football field, and I'm protecting it now by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Get up to date while it's still free and stay protected. Learn more at healthylincoln.org.
Hopcat exists at the intersection of great beer and delicious food, complemented by music, art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering place with some of the best damn burgers and fries you'll find in Lincoln. Hopcat is your pregame headquarters for basketball and volleyball all season long. Hopcat is located at 6th and P in the Haymarket. To plan your next trip to Hopcat, visit www.hopcat.com.
Meeting your goal of having a healthy diet has never been easier than with the Venue at Home Healthy Living subscription. Chef-inspired meals that are health conscious and delivered right to your door every week. All you have to do is heat and eat. We offer delicious entrees, gluten-free pastas, fresh rice bowls, soups, salads, and more. Build your own package as a subscription to receive meals every week, designed to help you meet your dietary goals. Order your custom healthy meal package today at venueathome.net.
Hey guys, Nick Sadert here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Spine and Sports Chiropractic. I experienced a herniated disc in my lower back a few years ago, and thanks to the folks at Spine and Sports, I got back to feeling 100%. At Spine and Sports, they use the active release technique, which involves the soft tissue and can alleviate headaches, shoulder pain, plantar fasciitis, and more. What I like most about the ART method is that your doctor will construct a plan that fits your needs because the technique is not a cookie-cutter approach. Allow Spine and Sports Chiropractic to help you feel better. Set up your appointment today by giving them a call at 402-261-6841.
Tired of the ugly sides, extra expense, and costly damage from hard water? It's time to call the plumbers at Bryant for a water softener solution. Hi folks, Greg Shop here, the voice of the Huskers at Bryant. You get high-quality water softener products installed by plumbers you can trust, and no arm-twisting contracts that tie you down. Just one call, 467-1111, or visit BryantLincoln.com to schedule a free softener installation estimate. Come on, soften up with Bryant. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with Roof Credit.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. Old School, brought to you by the Mercado, certified Piedmontese, special ingredients and butcher shop, 84th and Havelock. I'm Jay Foreman. Kenny Wilhite. Austin is back there on the ones and twos, making us sound good, look good, and all this other stuff. Got us up on here. But I wanted to jump in this first segment back into NFL. Kenny, first mock drafts come out, and obviously with the combine being over, guys rise, guys fall. It will change. You know, they always come out with their, mock draft 1.0. It'll be like 8.0 by the time the draft, I think, comes around in April, May. But without any trades, Chicago's picking number 1. Daniel Jeremiah has Chicago picking Jalen Carter, the defensive tackle from Georgia, number 1. I wanted to ask you, obviously with his the off the field, obviously, reckless driving. But do you still, in your opinion, would you still pick him considering he is head and shoulders the most dominant player, especially on the defense side of the ball, but probably the best player in the draft?
I'm going to do my due diligence on his issue that he has going right now. Extensively, like we said, do your homework.
Right.
And if everything looks like he'll be upstanding citizen, then yes.
Yeah.
Because defense wins championships.
Right.
To me.
And also, piggyback off of that, does that mean that you believe in Justin Fields?
Well, you already said that.
Right. Yeah. I'm
talking about the team's already said that.
Right. Yeah. But I'm just saying, if you're the GM, do you believe Justin Fields can be? I feel like to get a team to a Super Bowl, you got to be at least top 14
quarterback. Yeah.
I do too. I think if he gets some pieces around him, what he brings, I think he's more than a capable passer. I think his leadership skills are underestimated. I think he's tough. He showed me his ability to play against Clemson with that hip pointer and take them hits and deliver the mail. Let me know that he's a real deal quarterback. I think Jalen Carter will get that Bears defense back to kind of, the bruising defense that the monsters of midway type of defense. And I like it because they're starting in the middle.
Yes.
They lost Hicks, who was a big time defensive tackle at Tampa last year, got a little bit older, coming off injury. You replace him with a young stud. You can still keep Justin Fields. He's still on his rookie contract, right? So you're not having to re-up him. And you got this centerpiece right there. I think I like it that they're building from the middle on back, tough up the middle. The number 2 pick is my Houston Texans, Bryce Young. I don't think you'd have any pushback on that.
No.
I think with him, his leadership skills, and I think
he's a winner.
Yep, and his it factor. Now I'm gonna ask you this: are you worried about? I think they were talking about he needs to be 200 pounds. Are you worried about him being 5'11" or 6 foot or 200 pounds? Are you worried about that?
No. Drew Brees.
That's what I was saying. I think back in the day, he doesn't get drafted. Back like when we were getting drafted because
guys are putting him in the slot.
Right. They are. Or saying you got to go to Canada.
Go to Canada.
I don't have a problem with it because I've seen so many smaller stature quarterbacks, and especially because he's a legitimate thrower.
Yes.
And he's done it his whole career at Alabama. And Alabama has more of an NFL size offensive line with a former NFL coordinator. I think this is a no-brainer, especially he brings some class to the organization. And I like Davis Mills if he isn't the starter right away, because that'll also let you know that he has to earn it. And that's what you want. And that's what DeMeco Ryans is all about.
Yeah.
Number 3, which I think is a huge, I wouldn't say upset pick, because I think, in my opinion, Will Anderson has been the best player in college football the last 2 years. The outside linebacker from Alabama. He's been the most productive.
Yes.
He's his leadership skills are outstanding. His productivity in big games is off the charts. He's been dominant, and he was the most dominant player last year, or not this year, but last year. And then when people focused solely on him, he still was able to get double-digit sacks. But the Arizona Cardinals, which might be a blessing in disguise for him, are going to pick Tyree Wilson. This is now mock draft from Texas Tech. Yeah, that look on your face is like you don't know what the hell that is.
I was about to say, who is he?
Yeah,
he's the Anthony Richardson of edge rushers.
Right. He's a guy that's potential before productivity.
That's why the Cardinals are the Cardinals.
Right. See, that's what I like. Now we're gonna go to you've been waiting. hey, you see Austin over there?
You waiting on the Colts?
You waiting on them Colts, boy? Hey,
I think he's cheating. I think he has it up on his.
I do not.
Oh, you don't?
But
I'm watching an ACC tournament right now.
But
okay.
Austin, he knows the Colts are number 4. So you ain't been around here long enough. Austin love him some Colts.
Yeah, he told me.
Now, Austin, they have the Colts. I'm going to ask you, since you're the Colts fan, then I'll give you my opinion on who they have. The Colts, they have the Colts picking C.J. Stroud from Ohio State. New coach, new quarterback. Thoughts?
Sign me up for it.
Yep.
I am between. If I get either Stroud or Young, I can be happy enough.
Richardson?
Not willing to bet on Richardson just
What about Levis, the Mr.
Nope.
That was a quick
nope.
I agree with him on that. I agree with him on that.
Yeah, you can't lose right there. And really, the Colts can't mess this up.
They cannot mess
so
this
again,
up.
even if the Cardinals trade that pick away and say Carolina jumps them, that'd be disappointing. But if the Bears are taking the DT, I assume the Panthers are taking Stroud. That would be disappointing, but then you leave me Will Anderson. Okay, I'll take pass rush juice. I know you need quarterback, but I'll take Will Anderson. I'm fine with that.
You don't take a quarterback there that's not the number 4 pick.
If you're not 1,000,000% sold on him, don't take him.
See, the thing about C.J. Stroud, and I want to ask you about this because you saw him up close in person, right? When I saw his and I don't get too excited about the combine, right? But first of all, his story is pretty cool. Not recruited at all. Decided to play football. Was on the 7-on-7 team. One of the kids on his team was getting recruited by Ohio State. They called a coach up, like, you need to recruit my boy. They like, okay, maybe. Then they see him, like, oh, yeah. Then he starts getting – then he obviously ends up at Ohio State. Beats a quarterback out that was ranked out higher than him coming out of high school in the quarterback competition. Takes it a step further. I got to meet him and talk to him at Big Ten Media Days, first class all the way. But when I saw his combine, the way he was throwing the ball and how smooth he was, it verified everything I saw this year.
His release is smooth. It's
right.
Everything he does is smooth.
Right.
Now, he struggled early on in his career.
Sure. But that's good.
That's good.
Right.
But if you struggle early on and you go upward,
then you about your business.
Then you're about your business. And I think he's been a guy that's been about his business since he got on that yard.
And the thing that I like about him, and this is what I don't think I didn't hear anybody talk about it like in the draft. And granted, I was just picking and choosing as listening and watching.
Yep.
I like whatever Ryan Day and those guys have done with him, especially with him, is that he flights the ball different based on his receiver and whatever route they're running.
Yep.
That's what you got to do at the league. That's what Drew Brees did better than anybody. For being a short stature quarterback.
And that's what C.J. Stroud said at the combine was he's Mr. Ball Placement.
Right.
And he went out and showed it. I mean,
Right.
we know he has the big arm. We know he's played in that system at Ohio State, but he talked about his ball placement first and foremost.
Because it's paramount. And it goes back to practice habits. There ain't a lot of space when you're going against some real good DBs.
Nope.
And them and their receiver coach from Brian Hartline onto Ryan Day, they want that ball placed where it needs to be placed because it's not just about what practice they're thinking about when we're playing Michigan or Michigan State or national title. This is the throw that gets a win. I like that pick. We're going to skip right here because Seattle hits a gold mine. They get Will Anderson. That's a no-brainer.
Yep.
Okay. The Detroit Lions get the second best edge guy, I think, right, is Miles Murphy because athletically he's off the chain. He's actually bigger and more athletic than Tyree, but his production. And he's played at a big-time program, and he's done it for 2 years.
And you had him with the DN.
For Detroit. Oh, Hutchinson. Yeah. You missed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
That you got him.
Turn and burn.
Turn and burn.
Hey, see you at the quarterback.
See you at the quarterback.
Now, here's where we get a little funky here. You see them Raiders. Is that your team? Okay, I just want to make sure. The Raiders pick Will Levis, Mr. I have the strongest arm to come out.
I'm like, are you serious?
That's the dude tried to. You a paper. You're talking too much. What do you think about? Here's what I'm asking you about the Raiders. Do the Raiders? if this seems like Aaron Rodgers might be going to the Jets because we haven't heard the Raiders do anything. So if you're the Raiders, do you sign somebody like Jimmy Garoppolo to a 2-year deal and draft Will Levis, or do you just say, you know what, I'm drafting Will Levis? Because drafting somebody at number 7, I don't know how many free agent quarterback Commanders, you can go to all these other. Why would you go there and only play for a year? Because sooner or later he's going to get force fed. And I
don't know if he's worthy of a number 7
pick. I was about to ask you that. So we already answered it.
I don't know if he's
the
worthy.
fact that you said you didn't know. Well, I'm just going to take the last part. No. So what do you do if you're the Raiders, or what do you?
You have to bring somebody, a veteran in. If you're going to take him, if you're sold on taking him, you better bring a veteran in.
That's a big if. And this is another surprise pick. And I'm going to ask you about this guy, not only for what you saw on the field, but then also what they're trying to do as an organization, right? We're going to number 8, Atlanta Falcons, right? The Dirty Birds. Okay, they cut Marcus Mariota, who was the starter last year. They drafted Ritter last year, who was the starter for Cincinnati. Played okay. They got a really good receiver, and I think it's Drake from USC. Number 1, they're projected to pick Lucas Van Ness, backup defensive tackle, edge rusher from Iowa, built like a Greek god. I ain't looking, but the homeboy, he yoked up. He's 6'5". Now look, he's a former hockey player. Imagine him being back there playing D. He's a former hockey player, 6'5", 278 pounds, off the charts in the drills, 8.5 sacks this year.
As a backup.
What do you see from him?
Animal. So I'm on the defensive side of the ball, so I don't really get to watch Iowa's defense as much. So you study the offense, but live and in color,
right?
He's a freak of nature.
Yeah, because the one thing I saw about him was they played him on the edge, and they had a really good edge. They had Jones, number 13, a little bit smaller, but he played him on the edge. Then they put him in there at 3 technique. His speed, his power rush was good, and his ability to disengage from blocks, both in the run game and the pass game, up the middle, which is a little bit trickier because you got to deal with a center, and all that.
Peeling back on you
was really, really good. Yeah. I'll ask you this before we move on a little bit deeper in the draft. What do you think about Atlanta pick? Is this guy that good to pick at number 8 versus not picking a quarterback? Or is it the fact that, say, like Will Levis is gone and there's a big gap between the top 3 and then Richardson, so then we're taking the best player?
I would agree with that.
Right.
You take the best player at that spot, and then hopefully, Well,
let me ask you then. Well, you seen this dude up close and personal, and I seen him all the way from over here because I didn't get my seat on the plane to Ireland magically, but there were some seats open though. But the brother Jay one, we ain't gonna get into that. But the dude I seen that, hey, I'm gonna tell you this, and I always say this, Austin. I don't know if you were on when I said it. Anytime, because I look at all the linemen. Anytime I seen a ski at the end of their name, I think that means you Polish. I said, I know that. First of all, I know he got big old head.
Bouncer type.
No, I know he got big old head. And number 2, I know he's gonna be tough. And number 3, he's gonna be strong as an ox. Okay.
So who we talking about?
Peter Skoronski from Northwestern, aka the White Debo. The way that he was throwing cats out the club. Said you got a fake ID.
Yep.
And it's expired.
Yep.
He was taking cats at Austin by the back of their pants and the back of their shirt and just throwing them out the club like Barkley did in Orlando way back in the day. Tell me about when you saw him way over there in Ireland, man.
Oh my God. That game was so disappointing. It was so disappointing.
But tell me what, because I know what I seen on
between
TV.
him and that little bitty running back.
Yeah. Redhead Kingpin.
Yeah.
Was getting busy. But he got busy at the Senior Bowl, though.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. So I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad. But with that one there, he's a football player.
Yeah.
He's an old school throwback type player where you come in his house, you getting kicked out.
Yeah. And the thing is, he's just not a power player though. He a dancing bear.
Yes, he has feet.
And technique. I don't know who that was. He punched that one time. Boy, it looked like he got hit with a taser.
I want to say it was Caleb.
Hey, because I said, because I was always over. I said, dang.
I want to say it was Caleb.
I was gonna send him a text, but I was like, dang. By the time it went over there, you get it. By the time the game, that punch he hit him, sat him. Sit down.
Sit down. Go sit down.
Okay, I'll ask you this, and we won't get through the whole draft because we only got 7 more minutes. Do you think this is a huge question here? And Atlanta has Matthews as a left tackle, but I think he's good enough to play right tackle. Do you think Lucas Van Ness is good enough not to take Skoronski if you're Atlanta Falcons?
You can't go wrong with either one of those.
That's what I kind of – and you got Matthews
and you got
in his
Matthews,
prime.
yes.
Next to is Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know
how they drafting that high.
You did Howie Roseman. I don't know what you didn't. He ran the Hoboken hustle on people. He got it from New Orleans.
For the Gardner Johnson.
Gardner
trade.
Johnson got a first-round pick.
How I was like, how are they drafting that high? So who they got?
Well, no, this is the whole thing then, right? Philadelphia Eagles don't really have no holes because you could just say, okay, Jason Kelsey is going to retire, but you got Cam Jurgens that's just essentially Jason Kelsey 2.0. And he's been groomed
and I think he's more athletic.
Right, and he's bigger. And their defense, the one thing that they were really good during the regular season was DBs because you got Slay and then you had Bradbury. Both of them both were Pro Bowls and one was All Pro. Well, now, according to this thing, a top 10 pick, they get the best corner in the draft at Devin Witherspoon from Illinois.
Oh, he was. Now you talk about those other two.
Mm-hmm.
The other two,
yeah.
Seeing up close and personal, that one there,
yeah.
As a secondary guy,
you like that?
Oh my God,
his feet look real good, and his technique,
everything he did was
on point,
and he'll let you know it too.
He
talks. I'm talking about talk.
I like it though. Hey, there ain't no wrong with
I'm
that.
talking about. I'm not gonna say a certain person's name, but took him all the way out.
Oh, for real?
And he talk. I'm talking about. He came to the sideline and did a little talk. But
that's old Terrell Farley type stuff.
He is a football player, so yes, you take him. You cannot let him. You take him.
All right, we're gonna move on down to. We're gonna move a little bit further. What's your team? Who's your team?
I really don't have a team. Growing up, it was Cowboys and the Cardinals because I'm from St. Louis.
Dang,
my grandmother had us on the Cowboys.
Two teams.
My grandmother had us on the Cowboys train, right? But then when the Cardinals moved,
I'm gonna ask you about this.
When the Cardinals moved to Arizona, I never got on the Rams bandwagon,
right.
So I really don't have a team.
I'm gonna ask you about this team here. We talked about Geno Smith. Now they got Metcalf, and who's the other little receiver?
Did Tyler Lockett retire?
Lockett.
He retired.
No, he's back.
They got Cade Johnson, Omaha's finest.
But they got them picking and falling. They got probably one of the top 5 players in the draft, falling all the way to number 20, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Now I saw him when he worked out on for like 400 yards. I want your opinion as a DB about him.
He's not the fastest straight away. He runs really good routes.
Right.
And he's more quick than he is fast. But if you watched him in that, was that
Rose
Bowl against
Utah.
Oh my God.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. He was hurt most of this year, wasn't he?
Yeah, hamstring.
Hammy. But I think he was better than the one that the Falcons drafted. I mean, not the Falcons, the Saints drafted.
Olave.
Yeah.
I think
well, first of all, he had 1,600 yards. He was unstoppable.
Who?
Jackson Smith.
That's what I'm talking about.
When we played against him, he worked out on double coverage. He worked out on triple coverage.
It didn't matter.
But the thing about him, though, here's where people don't understand. He's from Houston. So my boy, I call him Checker Fred Weary, that played at Tennessee. He coached him. So he told me about him. And so when you guys played up there, I don't know if you went on that when it was COVID year, the first game ever up there. You remember he was the one that had that catch before halftime.
Yes.
And he texted me. He said, I told you. He said, that dude going to be top 10 pick. Seattle gets him at 20.
That's a steal.
Pete Carroll going to mess around, coach, till he 80.
That's a steal.
Yeah.
At what pick?
20.
Because he's top 10.
For sure.
Top 10 athletic, talent-wise.
Well, that's good stuff right there. We skipped over some teams. We wanted to go with I mean, there's a you know what? I will tell you this though. The one thing about Witherspoon, I'm gonna say this about Witherspoon, I'm gonna say this about the Brown brothers at Illinois, and I'm gonna say it about other teams, especially like Northwestern, right? So so here, and I'm gonna say this to the fans. You can create draftable players through hard work, both personally, them taking the onus of it,
Mm-hmm.
and coaches and scheme can do it.
Yes.
So it can be done because Northwestern, Illinois, and this other university I'm talking about, who I have a lot of respect for, is Mike Locksley, is at Maryland. They had had 3 receivers there and 2 DBs, and they have the Vikings taking Deontay Banks as a corner
From Maryland.
So and he's right below Witherspoon. So my point is, none of these guys were ranked as high as the guys that are at Georgia and Alabama and Clemson and Tennessee in all these respective schools. So it can be done.
Yes.
And it was done here before, and it can be done now. So, recruiting rankings are great, but Maryland, Illinois, Northwestern aren't in nowhere close to it.
But you're saying FBS schools. You got FCS schools that are putting like North Dakota State,
right?
South Dakota State.
Oh, I'm with you.
So
right, because South Dakota State got another dude tight end coming out there.
So you can develop them.
Oh yeah,
they don't have to be
right. And that's where Cade was at, right? South Dakota State.
He was at South Dakota State.
It can be done, but I'm just talking about these are tangible, in your face Big Ten teams that aren't your blue blood upper echelon. So that means Nebraska can do it.
Yes.
And that's where the onus, a lot of it, I think, falls on the players, because this is what we're going to talk about in the second half, or in the second big segment, because I'm a big proponent of players taking ownership.
I am too.
Because it only goes as far as you want it to go.
Yes.
But I want to talk about where the disconnect could be if you have a player that wants it, but you don't have maybe a coach that nourishes it, because it has to be. I mean, you know what I mean? You got to put it out there. Whether it's Fedoni talking about he wants to be the Mackey Award winner and be a first-round pick, okay, well then your actions got to speak up with your words, but you also got to have somebody there that's okay with that, and then say, okay, this is what you want.
This is
okay.
This is what's going to take
don't be poking your lip out when I'm all up in you, right? So we're going to talk about that coming in this next segment, because I think that's a huge part to seeing more Nebraska names up there. Maybe not in the first round, but more guys continue getting shots and drafted. I think it's huge because these guys that are coming from small schools, that's where they got it from. So next big segment, we'll be back in a couple minutes. Jay Foreman, Kenny Wilhite, we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
March is a month of good luck. From epic runs in state basketball to watching Cinderella spring the upset in college basketball. And of course, St. Patrick's Day. Luck is on your side at Mullen Motors too, because their lot is full of great vehicles to take home. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Your luck starts this month at Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Hey guys, Nick Sadert here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Spine and Sports Chiropractic. I experienced a herniated disc in my lower back a few years ago, and thanks to the folks at Spine and Sports, I got back to feeling 100%. At Spine and Sports, they use the active release technique, which involves the soft tissue and can alleviate headaches, shoulder pain, plantar fasciitis, and more. What I like most about the ART method is that your doctor will construct a plan that fits your needs, because the technique is not a cookie-cutter approach. Allow Spine and Sports Chiropractic to help you feel better. Set up your appointment today by giving them a call at 402-261-6841.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Meeting your goal of having a healthy diet has never been easier than with the Venue at Home Healthy Living subscription. Chef-inspired meals that are health conscious and delivered right to your door every week. All you have to do is heat and eat. We offer delicious entrees, gluten-free pastas, fresh rice bowls, soups, salads, and more. Build your own package as a subscription to receive meals every week, designed to help you meet your dietary goals. Order your custom healthy meal package today at venueathome.net.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Nebraska, they were 2-18 at Carver Hawkeye.
They don't play well at Carver Hawkeye.
And lost 9 in a row. Fred's previous 3 games at Carver Hawkeye, they had lost by an average of 28.4 points.
That would lead you to. That would lead you
not
to.
going to win the game, probably.
Right.
But we did say here, but I know all three of us said it. But it's like, no, we're not going. We're not playing Kansas.
No. Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC fabrication and sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC is great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Mostly cloudy and cool today with a high of around 42. East-northeast winds of around 10 to 15. We may see a few sprinkles or light rain showers this evening. Lows tonight should drop off to around 34. And nearly a repeat performance tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high of 41. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new Light Duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with Roof Credit.
Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Finish him. What was that, Street Fighter? Are you kidding? Was that one that did it?
Mortal Kombat. I never played video games, but I did play it at an arcade.
That I used to love going to the Mall of America, play that, and just to try to get that move. Are you kidding? Finish him. When you get so drunk, you be finished. You know what I'm saying? That's why you don't partake. Anyways, Kenny, I wanted to talk to you about. I guess we could phrase it as, I guess, your wants versus your actions. You can say risk reward. I don't really think it's a risk when you actually work for it. Because you're only going to be rewarded in a positive way. So I wanted to ask you about that. I think it's a huge dynamic, especially here in Nebraska, in order to get back to, being respectable or whatever you want to, fashion it as. To make sure you have enough players that love football and want to be the best that they can be. Let's not say, okay, let's get away from a guy having a good quarter and then somehow somebody saying he's an NFL guy. Like we've seen what NFL guys are just last segment, okay? They for real, and they worked at it for years. They're redshirt juniors, they're redshirt seniors. They've had to go through the ups and downs. And they've done it for more than a quarter or even a season. So I want to talk to you about the guys that love football, that want to be the best that they can be, the dynamic and how crucial it is, in your opinion, to make sure when those players are there, not that they're given anything, I guess you can highlight them, but there's the other hand, right? And I'll call it the support staff, even from academics, right? Because that, if you have somebody that really wants to be good, that's your ultimate like disciplinary thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't do it enough, if you can't do it in the classroom, I can't trust you there,
Can't
right?
trust you on Saturdays.
Right. And then also, so you got the academics / nutrition, weight room, and I think the most crucial thing is position coach / analyst, because there's more than one position coach. Talk about the dynamics of that, because I feel like me and you, we don't have a fair assessment of it because we had it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You had Coach D, even though everybody wanted. There's not anybody that was on defense that didn't want to punch Coach D dead in his face.
True.
Because Coach D said some stuff to me one time.
He would say some stuff that.
Before I get into it, I'm gonna tell you a story about Coach D. He had me when we were playing. We kind of had to. We're to the 4-3, so he would have me like going 1-on-1 with the slot receiver from off coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said some stuff like, like the defense is going to have speed, the scout team is going full speed. We out there just warming up, and brother got cooked. He said some stuff like, "Oh hell no!" He's like, "No wonder why I ain't want you in my room," right?
Oh yeah.
He said it like when I was mid running.
Yep.
I stopped. Hey, Kitty. I stopped, right? I was like, you can have that touchdown because my hamstrings, you ain't going to have me pull a hammy out here. It was a walkthrough. I stopped, turned around, ran over there, said, "What you say?" And he just, Coach D, he took off.
He took off.
If you have played Nebraska on defense in that back seven, that means linebacker and DBs, whether you're a corner, nickel, slot, safety, I guarantee you, 90% I want to punch Coach D dead in his face.
You being generous. You being generous.
Right.
95, 98%.
Right. There ain't nobody, even his favorites wanted to knock him out. Mike Minter, I think I seen get flexed on it one time. Yep. And Mike Minter and Mike Brown were his two favorites. And I know I seen Mike Brown get face-to-face with Coach D. Because I pulled him off it. So Mike Brown got red too. I was like, dang, okay, Mike. Now back to it, because I think that's part of it too, right? That's part of coaching, right? Because we've been blessed because I've been dressed down by Coach McBride, of course, Coach Steele, Kevin Steele, and every other coach. We had the good dynamic. I want your opinion. Obviously, you have firsthand, experience and knowledge or whatever. How crucial that is to not only building that player, but building your position group, building your foundation, which then will build your offense or defense, and then build your team. Because I think it all starts from there. So when you talk about position coaches, they actually can have a bigger impact than a coordinator. And this is not taking anything away from them, because if you have two guys in your DB room, right, that are respected and they want that, and then you nourish that, next thing you know, you got 6, because you're going to have the other 2 that are going to be starting, then 2 more they're going to play copycat.
Yep.
Then those copycats are going to be you and whoever you played with. Talk about how crucial that is.
Well, first and foremost, you brought up a guy with talent, right?
Sure.
Talent's only going to take you so far.
That can get you. That's going to get you a place at the table.
That's all it's going to get you. The table isn't set. It's just going to get you a place at the table. It's up to you to set the table and then put the food on it. Right. So talent. So if I got a guy like Jay Foreman, he comes in my room, all the talent in the world. And I got a guy like Austin, has talent, but not as much talent as Jay Foreman, right? I'm going to make sure Austin is coached the same as Jay Foreman, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
You're going to get the same. You may be a walk-on, and he's a scholarship guy.
Right.
But I'm going to coach you just the same as I coach Jay Foreman.
Right.
I'm going to hold Jay more accountable than you, first off, because he has the talent. I'm going to bring you up to speed with your technique. Your technique is going to get you what you need to be from day one, right? So then we're going to work on off the field.
Right.
Because if I can't count on you off the field, I can't count on you on Saturday. At some point, what you doing off the field that's not right is going to show up on Saturday.
Right.
So we're gonna try to fix that, right? You may be doing everything right, Austin. You ain't taking no shortcuts. But I got Jay over here taking shortcuts.
Yeah.
But then so let's go back. Day one, I'm gonna tell Jay, I'm gonna coach you harder than I'm gonna coach Austin.
Right.
Right? From day one. I may say some stuff to you that you may not like. Are you gonna have thick skin or you gonna have thin skin
and rabbit ears?
Or you gonna go call your mom and dad, tell them that coach,
He don't like me.
He don't like me. He said this to me, he said that to me.
When it's the opposite.
When I challenge, what I'm telling you is a challenge.
Right.
I'm issuing a challenge to you
Mm-hmm.
because I see the potential
right
for you to be great. And if I let you take shortcuts, what do you think Austin's going to think?
It's copycat.
It's copycat.
And then I'm not gonna make the best of myself because I'm taking shortcuts and I haven't gotten there yet.
Yes.
Then
So
you can't even really coach.
Then you can't even coach Austin.
Because he's gonna be like, man, you let him get away with it.
Exactly what he's gonna say. And
Right.
then Austin may go tell the next guy that
word of mouth,
word
marketing,
of
word
mouth.
of mouth marketing.
Go back to what you said. I'm gonna hold you more accountable than I'm gonna hold Austin on and off the field. If I see you doing everything right off the field, that's gonna make me coach. It's gonna make coaching you easier.
Right.
A lot easier because I know I can count on you. You going to class, you at your academic meetings, you at your tutor meetings. You're not late for this. You're going 100 in the weight room, right? All your academic reports are coming back good. That's gonna make coaching you easier in football. Now I ain't got to worry about the small stuff. That okay, if we put him in this coverage on Saturday, is he gonna be ready for it? Studying his playbook. You got your iPad out. I can track you and say, oh, Jay watched an hour of film outside of this building. Austin may watch 4 hours, but Jay, as long as I get an hour out of Jay,
Got that Kyler Murray clause.
it's not even a clause. I just know he's studying film. You may watch 4, he may watch 1. That 1 is good enough for him. You need 4,
right?
So you can do a little bit more, right? So once I establish that culture, it should bleed through the whole room. It should. It's established. It should bleed through the whole room. But if I let Jay slide,
right,
continue to let Jay slide,
ain't no sliding.
there ain't. But if
Yeah.
I continue to let you slide,
Yeah.
the other 4 or 5 guys in the room gonna be like, oh, he letting Jay do this. Let me try to do it. But then if I get on them, first thing they're gonna say, you ain't get on Jay.
Right.
You let Jay do this. You let Jay do that. It's a copycat society that we live in.
And is that something that you pull like me aside and say, look, man, I'm gonna coach you hard now. It's gonna be rough, but you got trust me.
And that's what I'm from day one. That's what I'm gonna say to you.
Right. Because I'm showing you respect, but it's bigger than you, and you're gonna get there. Now I ain't gonna go over. We're still gonna have an open line of communication. Hey, coach, man, come on, man. You know you probably went overboard. Yeah, you're right. All right, man. My bad.
One thing about me, I try to take the Coach Samuel approach. If you know who Coach Samuel is, he was
smooth.
cool, smooth. I mean, you learn from who you worked with or who you watched. Because Coach Samuel learned from Coach Osborne, right? But he leaned on us as his assistants to be those guys, right? So again, our relationship is going to be established from day one.
Yeah.
I'm never going to degrade you,
right,
in a way that's going to be disrespectful. I may yell at you and so forth, but I'm never going to degrade you the word is disrespectful as a human being.
It's not personal.
It's never going to be personal. It's only to make you better. One as a football player and one as a man, right? So if you got thick skin, we established that from day one. We're all good. I know I'm gonna get the best out of you because I know if you trying to take shortcuts, I can jump you. I can get on you. That's not what we talked about, Jay.
Right.
That's not what you said you were gonna do, Jay. We're good then. But if I don't establish that from day one and I let you do you,
yeah,
and I continue to let you do you,
right,
we're gonna have problems. Not only as an individual player, but as a team.
And a position group.
And as a position group, because that position group, again, there was some times where the position groups that were there, bad.
Right.
Bad. And there was 3 main position groups, but those are the top 3 position groups that you needed to have a successful football team.
Right.
But
I wanted to ask you real quick in the last couple minutes, what's the number one, like this is for the walk-ons versus how they can earn a scholarship, right? because I think that needs to be a stat. I think for me, like, I mean, obviously I was a scholarship player, but I'm saying if I was getting recruited and say you asked me to walk on, I'd like to know what are the things I need to do to earn a scholarship, right? Because ultimately it's the same thing. You don't want your walk-ons to be coming here and just being okay and to say, okay, I just want to be a practice dummy and just I want to get the steak and this sweatsuit. You want to say, okay, this is what I need to do. What are the 2 or 3 things, and real quick, Kenny, what they either need to have or what you look for or what they can develop in to be like, you know what, he's better than Jay Foreman on scholarship and he's done it. It's an open and shut case.
One thing I tried to do was look for that before they got here.
Right.
Those are the kind of kids I tried to recruit.
Right.
I give it to you. Here's your top 4 guys at linebacker, Jay. You pick the top 2 you want. But those top 2, I made sure talent-wise, they were going to be good enough within 2 years to help us on special teams. Because if they're good enough in 2 years to help you on special teams, by the time they're seniors, they may be starters.
Right.
So there was guys that earned scholarships after freshman year, after sophomore year. But you tell them, and I'm going to sit down with you and your parents.
Right.
This is what it's going to take for you to earn a scholarship. And when I say this is what it's going to take, you come in the summer, you dive right into the weight program, everything head first. Don't dip your toe in. Don't be shy.
Right.
Dive in it and do what you're supposed to do. The strength coaches will give reports. There's 110 now in fall camp. There's 85 scholarship players. There was 154 on the roster. So do the math. There's 44 guys not in fall camp.
Yeah, sitting at the
crib waiting. But you tell a walk-on kid, a freshman, if you're doing what you're supposed to do in the summer, the strength coaches will come back and report to us. They'll be like, that kid can help us. He needs to be in the 110.
Right.
And or the first week, the second week, the strength coach come report to the staff like, hey, so-and-so's busting his butt. He's doing better than Jay Foreman at his position. Jay Foreman may be a scholarship guy, but come fall camp, Jay Foreman's sitting at the house, and that walk-on kid is in the fall camp. So you tell them that from day one. If this is what you truly want, we don't want guys just to be here, just to be wearing the uniform, get the shoes and the sweatsuits and the backpack so they can walk around campus and look cool. We want guys that's going to be dedicated to this university and do what it takes. So you tell them that from day one. And if a kid is doing that, there's no issues in the classroom. There's no issues outside, off the field, and they're outperforming that scholarship kid. You got to reward them with scholarship.
There it is. That's good, man, because that's good to know for people that are listening, because I know a lot of high school kids are training right now and getting ready for, their spring sports or 7-on-7. And, Nebraska might have approached them about possibility of walking on it. And so that's good from somebody that's been in them conversations, rewarded guys and kept it real. And that's what makes it Kenny not only a good coach, but a good representation of the university. So we're going to go to break here. We're going to come right back. I'm going to ask you one question since you say you're a Cowboys fan. I'm going to ask you about one of their offseason targets of whether you would sign them or not. Considering
I said used to be a fan.
No. Once you see one thing, once you a Cowboy fan,
you sound like my brother.
Once you a Cowboy fan, because I hate Cowboy fan. Once you a Cowboys fan, you a Cowboys fan. Everybody out there, Kenny Wilhite is a Cowboys fan.
No, I am not. No,
that's almost as bad as Iowa. We're gonna be back. If you see Kenny, do the horns down or say, "How about them boys?" or something. We'll be back. Jay Foreman, Kenny Wilhite.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals. Hopcat exists at the intersection of great beer and delicious food, complemented by music, art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering place with some of the best damn burgers and fries you'll find in Lakeland. Hopcat is your pregame headquarters for basketball and volleyball all season long. Hopcat is located at 6th and P in the Haymarket. To plan your next trip to Hopcat, visit www.hopcat.com.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstorats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln by offering a number of services. From group homes for special needs adults to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the intellectual and developmental disability services your loved one needs to live a fulfilling life. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a more rewarding career, learn more about available positions. Learn more about services for your loved ones or employment today at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Are you ready for $0 cost individual employee health insurance? How about company paid life insurance? What about on-the-job paid training? Become part of the Landmark difference today. Join Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, at our upcoming career fairs. Chat one-on-one with our team to hear what it's really like to work with us. Career fairs will be held at Landmark locations March 14th in Fairfield, March 16th in Hebron, March 21st in Holdridge, and March 22nd in Marysville, Kansas, and March 23rd in Beatrice, Nebraska. See more details at www.landmark.careers.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra-clean protein powder ideal for anyone wanting to look better, feel better, or perform better. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Hey guys, Nick Sadert here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Spine and Sports Chiropractic. I experienced a herniated disc in my lower back a few years ago, and thanks to the folks at Spine and Sports, I got back to feeling 100%. At Spine and Sports, they use the active release technique, which involves the soft tissue and can alleviate headaches, shoulder pain, plantar fasciitis, and more. What I like most about the ART method is that your doctor will construct a plan that fits your needs because the technique is not a cookie-cutter approach. Allow Spine and Sports Chiropractic to help you feel better. Set up your appointment today by giving them a call at 402-261-6841.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with Roof Credit.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Mostly cloudy and cool today with a high of around 42. East-northeast winds at around 10 to 15. We may see a few sprinkles or light rain showers this evening. Lows tonight should drop off to around 34. And nearly a repeat performance tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high of 41. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, man.
Wow.
It'd be like that nephew Tommy thing I heard when the dude said, What a dude
I'm on my way.
He'd be like 1, 2, 3, 6 dots on your body. You messing with me, man. But we got a couple minutes, man, before we jump up out of here. Kenny Well, Height, Jay Form. I'm gonna ask you. I'm a true believer. If you have spent one day as a Cowboy fan, you always a Cowboy fan.
No.
Period. But I'm gonna ask you about this, Kenny. The Cowboys. In your opinion, if you're Jerry Jones, you're the black version of Jerry Jones, right? How about them Cowboys? Do you sign Odell Beckham Jr. based on, now we talked for last pretty much, back and forth 2 hours, whether it's Lamar Jackson, college, recruiting, offseason work with Nebraska. It's all portable to the NFL, considering what he brings as a player, potentially as an older player, coming off an ACL, which I think first of all, he's always going to be in shape, so that won't be a problem. But the personality mixed with his off the field issue when he was on the plane. If you're Jerry Jones, then you need receiver help. Now you got CeeDee Lamb's number one, but in order for Dak to take that next step,
you need a compliment.
You need another one. Compliment. Gallup is good as a number 3, but you need a true number 2. Do you sign Odell Beckham Jr. because he is expected to go to the Cowboys? Considering all that comes with him.
That's
talent.
That's what I was pausing because of.
Is it worth it?
What all comes with him? We'd have to have a come to Jesus meeting. Multiple.
And you see, Jerry Jones wants to have him at like his favorite strip club. We got to have it in the office. You got to take Odell out to the ranch.
You got to take him, not
out in nature.
You got to take him where it's just going to be you
and him in nature.
Not even nature, just you and him.
Yeah, because you ain't no hiding. Your boys ain't here, just me and you.
Just me and you. We want to sign you, but we can't have those antics
at all.
At all. If we have one, you're on the first thing smoking up out of here.
You're gonna be a former Cowboy.
Preach. So if he agrees to that, then talent wise, yes. Because you need that number 2 guy.
I think with his experience,
yes,
and actually having a year off and not forcing himself because he got hurt in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So not forcing himself back to then his other knee gets hurt or ankle or whatever. I think you could get a whole season out of him. I think if Jerry could kind of get him, put his arm around him and, look, man, Jerry Jones has done a really good job.
He has.
With Michael Irvin, Des Bryant, Autumn, Pac-Man Jones, even Randy Gregory. I mean, it takes a lot for an owner to have faith in any player that's had off the field transgressions. For real. And Leon Lett to Charles Haley, even a big personality like Dion. And him and Dion, are close. And he's taught Dion stuff in business. I think it'd be a good landing spot for Odell Beckham Jr. I just hope that he understand where he's at in the league in his career. Because I'd hate for him to ball and be like Terrell Owens and not get another chance because he's older.
Yeah.
Because Terrell Owens, when he left the league, he still was a top 15.
Still out here running 4.5.
He's still out running 4.5.
Right. 50 years old.
50 years old.
So, but he still could have played 2 more years.
Yes.
But all his past transgressions
came into play.
Came when you got older. So I'd like to see if Odell could be like, okay, I learned from my mistakes, become a leader, man.
It takes a man to admit you learn from your mistakes, and then hey, I'm gonna be number 2
and be okay with it. I'm gonna teach you everything that I know
behind land,
right?
And just play my role the best of my ability.
Right.
Keep all that circus stuff out of the way, and then he should be fine.
Right. Well, that's good stuff, man. 2 hours goes by fast. Austin talked about it. High school basketball championships and all classes start tomorrow. Exciting times down there at Pinnacle Bank. I'll be calling some games, be down there and watching it. If you get a chance, get some free time. There's a lot of local talent in Lincoln and Omaha. It's going to be some good battles in Class A, B for sure. Appreciate your support, Mercado, all the text lines and everything like that. Kenny Wilhite, Jay Foreman, my main man Austin on the ones and twos. We are out.